this is a great time to take a look at your recognition program to date, see what has been successful, what maybe hasn't worked, and make a strategy for the second half of the year. In addition to this kind of being our mid-year mark, it's also summertime, and this is the time of year where PTO time is on the rise. It's sunny outside. People are wanting to kind of be out of the office and outside having fun. So a lot of times we see not only productivity in work as a whole, but recognition also on the decline in the summer months. So what we aim to do today is give you some tools and strategies to not only assess your program at the mid-year mark, but also think about how we can make things fun and exciting and engaging in these summer months to make sure that while we're all out there having fun and using up our PTO, we're also really engaged in the work that we're doing, and your employees are still feeling connected and still feeling like they are appreciated, whether they're in the office or not. So let's see. So a quick overview of what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about just doing a quick recognition program pulse check, what reports to pull, that kind of thing. We're going to talk about how to re-engage managers and employees and give you some tactics there. We're going to talk about some creative summer campaign ideas, complete with a couple toolkits for you to take away from this call today. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about how to refresh your rewards program in the summer months. And as a bonus, we're going to do at the end of the call, we're going to do a sneak peek of some of our brand new features and things that we are working on and coming soon. So that's going to be really exciting as well. So first, we'll get kind of the boring stuff out of the way. I'm just kidding. It's not boring. Metrics actually are not boring at all to me. I love metrics. But I want us to just start off with giving your program a quick pulse check at the mid-year mark. So a couple of the key things that we want to do is review some of your key metrics, see how your program is performing, identify any engagement gaps, and analyze trends. So for this portion of the call, I'm actually going to switch to my test account here. And we're not going to look at this screen because that was supposed to be a sneak peek. I should have been on a dashboard instead. But we're going to hop into the company admin dashboard page, and we're going to take a look at some metrics that I think would be really important to check at the mid-year mark. And if you're noticing this dark mode that this test account is in, this is actually one of Recognize's new features. So if you enjoy dark mode, you can actually now change to dark mode in your profile settings. So if this looks a little weird to you, you'll get used to it. So this is the company admin dashboard. And what I would suggest here is you can look at a year-to-date view, and you can see things like how many recognitions have been sent so far for 2025. And you can take a look at how that compares to 2024. So you can see, are you trending about the same? Are you having a decline in recognitions for this year? Are you having an increase? And then kind of think about why you think those trends might be happening. You can also look at how engagement with the stream page is going. So this is indicative not just of how many recognitions are being sent, but how many people are actually logging in and interacting with the platform by leaving comments, reacting, that kind of thing. And then this graph is, I think, a really important one for this kind of mid-year checkup, because this gives you just kind of a bar view glance of how the recognition has expanded and contracted so far this year. So you can kind of, sometimes when you're looking at this, you kind of know maybe like, oh, we were running an awesome campaign during this time. And so we kind of expect that we're going to see a spike here, or oh, this is the beginning of January, like we were just getting back from Christmas, and maybe that's why engagement was low during that time. But you might find things that surprise you. You might find that, oh, we ran this campaign, or we did this, we had this initiative during this time, and I would have expected a spike, but I didn't see one, and so maybe that campaign wasn't quite as effective as I thought it was. Or, on the flip side of that, maybe you had a really high spike in one area and you weren't really doing much to induce that spike. And so maybe you can think about like what was going on externally during that time that could have caused that spike. And then that way you can replicate it. Another great spot to look is your top badges. So this will tell you so far for the year which badges are being given the most. And so this is really great to think about what currently to date your employees are being recognized for the most. And, is that what you expect? Again, if you created a specific badge for a specific campaign at some point throughout the year so far, is that one of your top badges? That's, again, indicative of how successful that campaign may have been. If your badges are designed to correlate with your company's core values, this is a great way to kind of gauge which core values are being represented and exhibited in your company the most. And this can also give you an idea of if there's a certain core value or a certain badge that is related to a behavior that you want to see more of, and you're seeing that that badge is not being given, that's a great indication that maybe you want to do some kind of a campaign around that value or around that behavior. And so there's a lot of simple things that you can do, like, and Sam will give you some engagement ideas later on in the call, but things like doing like a badge feature spotlight. So for example, if there's a company value that you're seeing is just not really being given that much when you're looking at your top badges, maybe you spend a month or even just a week kind of highlighting that value and encouraging your managers to send that badge to the employees that are exhibiting that company core value, just to kind of highlight and bring attention to that expected behavior. And so this page is just going to give you that like broad overview of so far, how is your program doing so far this year. And then of course you can dive in a little bit deeper using these tools at the top. One that I will call out is checking on manager engagement. That's going to be a really important piece as company admins, is to see how your managers are supporting the recognition program, who are your champions, and then who are those that are maybe falling a little bit short. So you'll see if you have, which we hope you do, if you have the direct report manager relationships set up, you'll be able to filter under the top employees by anybody in your organization that has one or more direct reports. You may also have this set up differently, just depending on your hierarchy. Maybe you have a role for directors, for department managers. So whatever that hierarchy looks like for you, but just simply put in the platform, anybody who has one or more direct reports assigned to them is considered a system manager. So we already have that data for you. And you can see year to date, you'd want to flip over to set recognitions, but you can see year to date how many recognitions each of your managers have sent. And then if you have any managers who have sent no recognitions, you can see that as well. And so one thing that I recommend here is for your top performing managers, those are your champions. So those are your managers that have really embraced the program. We can pretty much guarantee that they're seeing really positive results in their teams from having this kind of engagement. So those are your managers that you really want to lean on to support their peers. So reaching out to these managers, finding out what are their best practices, How do they stay on top of recognizing their employees? What are some of the things that they do to make sure that they're successfully utilizing the program? And then what are they seeing as a result of that? Since taking on recognizing their employees, what are the positive benefits that they have seen from that? Share that with your managers that maybe aren't so successful to kind of help gain their buy-in. So this is a great spot. And of course, you can come in here and filter by if you want to see, get a pulse check of teams. So like which teams are most engaged versus which teams are least engaged, and other groupings that you may have set up in your platform. But I recommend definitely looking into your manager engagement and then also looking into engagement by team. Or whatever group, maybe it's a location or a department, but whatever that grouping looks like for your organization, finding those trends is going to be what's most important when you're doing a pulse check mid-year. So those are my tips for checking in on your metrics mid-year. Those would be kind of the top ones that I would take a look at. I'm going to pop back over here and I'm going to pass it over to Sam now. And she's going to talk a little bit about after you're analyzing those trends, what can you do to re-engage your managers and your frontline employees as well?
Awesome. Thank you, Brittany. And, right now being mid-year, it's the perfect time to kind of take a step back, reset and re-energize your teams. So first, let's kind of talk about a few strategies for managers to re-engage them. So something really simple you could do is doing a refresh recognition training, kind of micro learning sessions, about 15 minutes or so. Sometimes managers just need a quick refresher just so they feel confident using the platform. And micro learning is short, it's focused, and it's perfect for really busy schedules. So these touch points can cover everything from best practices and writing meaningful recognitions, or how to use the data dashboards to help drive performance insights for them. Also, setting mid-year recognition goals. So you can set clear, achievable goals tied to recognition. So for example, you can aim for every manager to give at least, maybe start off, you want to have them send at least one meaningful recognition per week, or perhaps celebrate 3 team wins each month. And these goals can help create accountability and keep that recognition top of mind. And lastly, you can create department challenges with visible leaderboards. Everybody loves a little friendly competition, so you can create a recognition-based challenge between departments or teams and then showcase that progress on leaderboards. This can help drive consistent participation and gives public visibility to teams who are really building a culture of appreciation. And then I'm going to kind of touch base with a few strategies for employees to help re-engage and re-energize them. If you haven't already, or if you're not aware, we do have a very user-friendly mobile app. So perhaps you want to push an initiative and introduce the mobile app. And we have new mobile app push notifications, which is really awesome and exciting. And then you can use this for team updates. And this is pretty much on the go recognition, whether it's for new recognition, team milestones, redemption, so almost the full web experience on the mobile app. And then you can consider gamifying recognition with friendly challenges as well. So turn it into a game for your employees. Set up fun challenges like most creative recognition message, or shout out streaks, or badge battles where employees can earn points or special badges. And gamification can really encourage consistent engagement, boost morale, and make the process feel less like a task and more like a celebration. And if you guys were at our last webinar with multi-general recognition across the workforce, with Gen Z coming into the workforce, gamification is one of those things that's very, very fun and important to them. And then lastly, give your employees a voice. Not only can you do this for employees, perhaps you want to do this for managers as well, but create an intentional space for employees where they can openly give feedback or suggest recognition ideas, such as new badge themes or, things that they want to see in the platform. When people feel like they have a say in how recognition happens, they're more likely to participate, and it makes them feel truly valued. And lastly, do not forget, for both managers and employees, celebrate the small wins and the big ones. Don't wait for those big milestones. Call out great efforts, collaboration, or learning moments to keep that momentum going. Right. And then getting into some fun campaign ideas for the summer. If you guys want to kind of put these out there for your employees. Brittany was awesome to create this wonderful employee recognition bingo summer edition. So this is a great way to re-energize your recognition in a really fun format. So you can create this card or download this card, and you can recognize teammates from another department, or give a shout out with the GIF. So employees who complete a row or a full card can be entered into a prize drawing, or perhaps you have a special bingo winner badge that you want to give them points for. Doing a summer spotlight series. So highlighting different employees each week with a quick profile highlight and a recognition moment. Not only can you post it in announcements, but you can post it in your Teams channel or any intranet or Slack. And another new exciting feature we have now is real-time posts for announcements and recognitions from Recognize to Microsoft Teams. If you guys are interested, definitely reach out and we can get that, help your IT team get that set up. That, builds that visibility and shows employees you're paying attention to their contributions and not just their outcomes. And then another idea is coverage kudos. So as we know, summer vacation season is in full swing. And then maybe you want to start recognizing those teammates that are going above and beyond and really providing that extra coverage and support that's needed while your other employees are out on vacation. You can create that special badge, do a shout out campaign to thank those stepping in, and really reinforce that teamwork if that's one of your core values, and make that extra effort feel appreciated. And then many may not think about this, but maybe Intern Appreciation Week. As we know, summer brings a lot of summer interns to organizations. So make sure you recognize and uplift your interns during the time with your company. A dedicated appreciation week gives managers and mentors a chance to spotlight interns, their contributions, and then it helps foster future engagement, especially if you're thinking about actually converting them into a full-time employee. And maybe not just interns, think about temp workers as well that you want to convert into full-time employees as well. And lastly, summer themed recognition. Brittany and I love themed accounts. We personally do it for ours every season. It's super fun, and it keeps things really fresh with that seasonal flair. Maybe you want to make badges, making waves, or chill under pressure, or sensational support, something like that with really fun summer graphics like you can see here on the slide. It's a really small but simple way to add some energy and creativity and excitement around your existing program. And Brittany did drop, we do have some clickable links here, but she also dropped those in the chat for all of y'all as well.
And we'll send those in the follow-up too. So you, if you're interested, you can download the employee recognition bingo, as well as these exclusive badge designs that you're welcome to use. And then we also have a quarterly recognition calendar that gives you some ideas of different things to celebrate in the summer months. So I hope you guys like those.
All right. And then the last thing I want to touch base on is maybe during this time, you want to refresh your rewards as well. For those who are doing a monetary or non-monetary program, you can choose to award these inside or outside of the platform. So think about summer specific reward ideas, outdoor equipment, maybe little portable grills, hammocks, yoga mats, items that encourage employees to get outside and enjoy their time off. Maybe you want to think about an extra time off or leave early on a Friday. So maybe those are for those non-monetary programs. This is, time is one of those most valuable rewards you can give. Early dismissal on a Friday or a summer flex day really shows you care about your employees' well-being and their work-life balance. Cooling accessories for home offices. I don't know if any of you have ever had this experience. I've worked in offices where the AC has broken, so this would be super awesome if you live in those really hot states. You know, or maybe for those remote or hybrid teams, desk fans, cooling seat cushions, if you know they're sitting in their chair, blue light glasses, obviously staring at the computer. And then maybe you want to do something really fun, ice cream or summer drink delivery services. Partner with one of your local vendors, show you support, you know, your local business owners, and or maybe you want to send a digital gift card for cold treats. A little surprise goes a long way, especially, you know, when it's tied to a recognition in that moment. And then family friendly experience packages. So this would be really awesome. You know, tickets to local attractions, picnic sets, gift cards for family activities, really helps extend, again, that appreciation to employees and their loved ones. It's, you know, supports a holistic view of well-being and reinforces that your company cares about life outside of work. And then summer related gift cards, think Uber, Starbucks, Amazon, anywhere they can grab a cold drink, their own summer gear that they're looking for, especially when employees get to choose, you know, how to spend it. And then lastly, maybe you want to do a group reward. So tying into what Brittany talked about, when you're pulling those metrics or doing those pulse checks, maybe you want to look at those team metrics and award an entire team, you know, do a lunch outdoors, get some fresh air, get some steps in, or do an ice cream social, something fun like that, just to get them out of the office and relax a little bit. And, you know, I think maybe if you want to even do a raffle at the end of summer, that's always a really, really good idea. If you have items on hand already, very low cost to the company, and then raffle those out when you're running some of these campaigns.
Thanks, Sam. Those are awesome ideas. Lots of amazing strategies to engage teams. And so what I want to do is roll into some of the new features that Reignite has recently launched, and then also some features that are coming up in Q2. And all of these are going to be great ways to support some of those strategies that Sam and I have already talked about today. So we'll roll right into the new reward option, since that was what Sam just last talked about. And so we have a couple of really new, exciting enhancements to our rewards. One of the most recent reward offerings that we have launched is Amazon Rewards. You may have already heard about this in some of our newsletters or some of our communication campaigns. But essentially, Reignite is now able to integrate with your company's Amazon business account, which will offer your employees the ability to redeem their points for physical items shipped straight from Amazon. This, the reason that I wanted to kind of talk about this today in this summer session is because as us, you know, Amazon Prime members, which I'm sure a lot of us are, we all know that Prime Days is coming up. And so for me, a lot of what summer means is Amazon Prime Days. And so this was kind of why I wanted to bring this up today and just kind of reintroduce this option that we now offer. So if your organization has an Amazon business account, we can basically just connect straight to that Amazon business account. And if you have an Amazon Enterprise Prime business account, you can basically pass those Prime savings onto your employees without them needing to have their own Prime memberships. So it's that added perk that you're giving to your employees. Not only can they redeem their points for physical items that they can have shipped directly to their homes, but they can take advantage of some of these Prime deals, Prime shipping, Prime savings without needing to pay for a Prime membership themselves. So this is just kind of a sneak peek of what that looks like. It will, just like if you go to Amazon today, you'll always see just kind of like an assortment of suggested items. You'll see that in Recognize as well. And they can kind of scroll through different categories, but of course they can search for anything that they're looking for as well. And the experience is all right within Recognize. So if they want to purchase something from Amazon, they would be entering all their shipping information and using their points to pay for the item, and that item would be shipped straight to them from Amazon. So this is a really exciting enhancement that we launched this year. And if you're, especially if your organization already has an Amazon business account, this would be a really easy setup to add as a rewards offering for your employees. And then the next one that I want to talk about is we are spending a lot of time enhancing our options to offer company swag to your employees. So today, and many of you may already have something like this on your account, we have the ability to integrate with most swag providers via just an API connection. We are working on a partnership with Aximo Swag. So if your company doesn't already have a swag provider, this is a great one to look into. And we're looking at offering a full integration where inventory levels are managed within Recognize. The whole interface is right within Recognize. So just a really easy way to offer swag items to your employees. Now, with this work, we do have some enhancements coming with how to create custom rewards in the next couple of days. So I wanted to take just a quick look at that so that you guys kind of know what's coming. And this is going to go for items where either they're maybe fulfilled by a swag provider via an API connection that we've already set up, or if this is like a company fulfilled. If you have swag items or any kind of a custom item that you guys fulfill, this is going to impact those rewards as well. So if you do offer custom rewards, you know that previously we really only allowed one dimension, basically like one photo, one selection for each item. So what our enhancement today does is it allows you to have multiple selection dimensions, and we can also do different photos for each dimension. So rather than having to just have the one photo like you see here, when you click into it, you can actually have different photos for each selection. I don't have them set up for sizes here, but if I wanted to have different pictures for each size, I could do that as well. And so, here's another example here where I can have a separate photo for each selection that I have here. So it just really makes that user experience cleaner, and it makes admin's lives easier, and it makes the employees' experience a little bit neater as well. So that change, if you are creating custom rewards, that change is coming in a few days. You will see a bit of a change in your, as a company admin, when you are creating these rewards. And I won't go too in the weeds on it, but just to give you a little sneak peek here, you now see, rather than just like a list of reward variants, you now see dimensions where you can say, okay, here's the colors I have, here's the sizes I have, and then it pairs those together. And you can, again, add overall photos and individual photos as deep as you want to get here. So we will be sending out a resource for this. So don't panic if you create custom rewards. It's really, really easy to use. It's actually easier and more intuitive than it was before. But of course, just know that if you have any questions on this new process, you can always reach out to our support team. And we are always happy to help. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about for reward options, this is a coming soon, so I don't have a demo for you, but just given our topic today, I really wanted to get everyone excited about something that we're working on in Q2. And we're going to be partnering with a vendor to offer experiences. So think concert tickets, comedy shows, sporting events, things like that. We will now be able to offer employees to redeem their points for those types of things. And I think the coolest thing about this feature that I love is that with this feature specifically, employees will be able to basically supplement costs with their points. So where they don't have to, like, let's say they're getting event tickets and they don't have enough points to cover the full cost of the event tickets. With this integration, they will actually be able to just use what they have for points, or some of their points, to pay for a portion of the tickets, and then they can use their own payment method to pay for the rest. So this is a really great option to just allow employees, if they don't have enough to use all of their points on event tickets, they can at least like get a discount on their event tickets. So that is coming soon. Stay tuned with our newsletters and our email updates on that. And hopefully, I don't know if we'll be able to demo it by next webinar, but maybe by August, maybe we'll have a demo for you. So super exciting there. Of course, let us know if you have any questions and keep an eye out for that communication. So the next thing that I want to talk about is this new feature that we have actually already launched. And this is limited company admin access. And so with a lot of these campaigns that we have been talking about today, I think a lot of admins, especially in companies where maybe there's only one or two people who are really running the recognition program, you might feel overwhelmed. I've got all of these other things that I also have to do. And now I need to do, to keep my recognition program alive, I need to be running all of these campaigns. And so what we really, really like to encourage is having like culture committees, having it not be just one person or two people who are running your recognition program, but having a team of people. And that team can change as well. It doesn't always have to be the same team. I'm a huge fan of pulling champions from different departments, using this as like a stretch assignment for those who are kind of wanting to take on extra challenges or advance their careers. So having a culture committee to kind of help with these campaigns is super, super important. And with this feature, we're going to help you be able to divvy out different responsibilities of the program without having to give all of your culture champions full access to the company admin. And the other really great thing about this feature is for your business leaders. So we've talked a lot about the reporting and kind of seeing how the reporting is, or how like different departments are performing, and who your top employees are. Again, this doesn't all have to be on the one or two company admins that are running the program. With this new feature, you can give your business leaders, your department managers, you can give them access to just the dashboard page without having the liability of them having, any access to like your rewards or your budgeting or, anything else that you may not want them to have access to. They would have the ability to come in here and pull their own reports for their teams. And again, that's just going to lessen the burden from those admins that are running this program and give those leaders a little bit more ownership and autonomy over how their teams are performing. So since this is already live, I'm going to do just a quick demo on how you can do this. So you're actually, from your company admin portal, you're going to go into the roles section, and then we're going to go into settings. And so just like everything else in the platform, this is all going to be roles based. So we see the use of roles when we're creating badges for specific groups of people or when we're allocating points to specific groups of people. This is the same idea. So you're basically granting permission to certain groups of people based on page and also section as well. So down here at the bottom, what we can do is we can say, I would like all of my directors, go ahead and add that role, to have access to all pages in the dashboard. So that means dashboard and all of the subpages up top here. If you are a mid-market customer, you only have the option to grant access to full sections. If you are an enterprise customer, instead of saying all, I could say, oops, I guess I have to add that again. I could say I want them to just have access to the overview page and the top employees page. So I can get a little bit more granular if I'm an enterprise customer. And then I can do that for other things as well. Maybe I have a program champion that is in charge of creating the fun summer themed rewards. I can give, maybe my people ops role. I can give them access to the rewards page. So this is how that works. We will send out a resource after this call with some specific information. I think that this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be really interested in. So please reach out to either support if you have any questions after reviewing the resource, or of course, reach out to your CSM. We'd be happy to hop on a call to help get this set up. So we are really, really excited. This has kind of been a long time coming feature here where we can essentially give limited access to the company admin. Again, it's going to really just help you help lessen the load on the company admins and give a little bit more ownership of the program to business leaders, department managers, as well as your culture champions who are going to help you really make the program successful. So I hope everyone is excited about that. And then lastly, we've talked about this a lot. Maybe you've already heard about this, but we have actually launched our version 1 of our survey product. So when thinking about these different campaigns that we have suggested, getting employee feedback is really, really important. What do your employees want to see more of? What did they enjoy? What did they not enjoy? Making a successful recognition program is very, very reliant on getting employee feedback, finding out what your employees like and what keeps them engaged. Our survey product is going to do that for you. Our survey product is available for anybody to try right now. And so if you are interested in trying out our survey product and getting basically a trial period of the survey product, please reach out to us. We are happily granting survey access to anybody who wants it right now. And so again, at the mid-year mark, this is a great time to take advantage of this. The mid-year mark is a great spot to measure employee happiness and measure how effective your program has been so far, and then also give you a baseline to measure against at the end of the year. So find out what's going right at the mid-year mark, maybe what you need to work on at the mid-year mark, make those changes in the second half of the year, run the survey again, and see the impact that you have had. Within our survey product, we have the ability to use some of our templates. We've got templates based around Gallup. We have a built-in EMPS survey, as well as just an employee happiness template. Or if you have something that you already do internally, you can create a custom survey as well to measure employee happiness or whatever else you want to survey on. So we're really excited about the survey product. If you're interested in that, please reach out to us. I'm happy to turn that on for you and start measuring your employees' happiness. So that is pretty much all we have today. So if there are any questions or we have little bit more time left. So if anybody wants to dive a little deeper into any of those features that we discussed, happy to do so. Go ahead and just pop questions either into the chat or into the Q&A box. Either one is fine.
I think Clayrone had a question there, Brittany. Looks like he was asking if their company does not have an Amazon account, can points still be redeemed for purchases?
That's a good question, Clayrone. Our Amazon integration is specifically tied to an Amazon business account. So it does require the company to have an Amazon business account. So it is recommended that you have an enterprise Amazon account. You're able to have more controls in terms of like content if you have an enterprise account, but we can do it with lower accounts as well. But you do have to have an Amazon business account because that's what we're connecting to. That's a great question. Let me go.
So we got a question from Lindsay here. If an employee doesn't want their birthday celebrated, is there a way to toggle just theirs specifically off, or would you leave their birthday information blank?
It's a great question. So yeah, there is a way. So what you can do for your employees who don't want their birthday celebrated. So I guess the answer to your question is yes and no. So there's a way to make it private. But if you don't want the badge to go out at all, leaving that birthday data blank is going to be the way to make sure that recognition doesn't go out at all. However, if they are okay with still receiving that recognition, but it being private, meaning it only shows on their profile page, and it's only for their eyes, it's not publicly posted on the stream page, and nobody else can see it, even if somebody visits their profile page, they will not have visibility into that birthday recognition. So if they're okay with just having that be private, we can still collect that data, and they can select for their birthday to be private. And the way that they do that is they just click on their avatar here at the top to get to their profile page, and then they go into edit profile. And they have these little boxes next to their service anniversary as well as their birthday. And if they want to receive that private, they just have to select that little box and click save. And then their specific birthday recognition, again, will still be visible on their profile page, but not to anybody else.
And keep in mind with the user data, if you leave that field, like Brittany said, if you leave that field blank and you're uploading a manual spreadsheet, it'll just upload a blank birthday. But if you are doing a Microsoft sync and you're attribute mapping, you would want to ensure that data is left out from your sync or from the HRIS. So this may or may not work if we're doing an SFTP import, since your HRIS data is complete, unless you can find a way to remove that from the HRIS system.
Awesome. Any other questions? Let me open the Q&A. Anything in there? Okay, nothing in Q&A. See nothing else in the chat. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Of course, if any questions come up after the call, feel free to reach out to your CSM or of course, at any time you can reach out to support@recognizeup.com, and we will be happy to help answer any questions that you have. Happy to hop on calls to walk through any strategy or use of any of the new features that I mentioned today. We will also be sending out a follow-up email with the resources, any of the guides that we have for the new features, as well as the toolkit with the summer campaign ideas and the quarterly recognition calendar as well.
Oh, looks like we got one more question. Sorry.
No, that's cool. We got time. Let's do it. For team members that are no longer with the organization, is there any way to completely remove them from the platform, including recognitions that they have received? I notice the recognitions still show. So we don't recommend that you hard delete anybody from the platform. And that's mostly just for like historical data reasons. So yes, even though they're no longer with the company, their recognitions are still part of the engagement that happened during the time that they were with the company. Likewise, even if the recipient is no longer with the company, the person who sent the recognition a lot of times is still with the company. So that's part of it's tied to more than one account, right? So that's part of the recipient data as well as the sender data. And so if you're looking at your engagement, metrics for last quarter, if we were to completely delete people from the system as well as all of their recognitions, then that number is not really indicative of what your recognition or what your engagement data was at that time. So is there a way that we could, on the back end, if you sent us a ticket to support@recognizeup.com and said delete this person and all of their recognitions from the system? Yes, it could be done. Absolutely. We don't recommend it just because we really want you to be able to see what the engagement data was and what engagements were happening at any point in time, whether those people are still with the company or not. So hopefully that answers your question and makes sense, but feel free to reach out if you want more clarity there. Okay, well, I will let everybody go. Reach out if you guys have any additional questions. And I hope everybody has a wonderful summer.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.